Hello, welcome. Today I'm just going to share a story that I'm able to share now, and it's quite an interesting story that happened. I was preparing to go to the States this past summer, and I was preparing for my flight schedule. I got a very clear message on what day to fly. The exact flight, flying from Singapore to Vancouver. And then I kind of kept getting little messages about this flight, like leading up to it. I was told that I wouldn't be sleeping on this flight. It was a 16-hour flight, so that one was an interesting kind of one. And then I was also told that I'd be working on the flight. So what I thought when I was told working, I thought maybe I was going to be doing some writing or something along that line. I'm in the middle of writing a book, so that was something that I thought maybe I'd be working on my book. And then all that leading up, I was told a few more things, and then I ended up getting on the flight. So this was in Singapore, and the flight was delayed. Then the captain made an announcement and said that there was a check engine light or something, and they were waiting for the mechanics in Montreal, Canada, to call them back to figure out what was wrong with the plane. And then I got the message to do some light language. So I did some light language on the airplane, and then I think that the captain had said at the time that they didn't know if the plane would be able to fly, or that we'd be able to go anywhere. And then so I did light language, and then maybe like 10-15 minutes later, the captain was like, everything looks good, everything's been checked out, we can now take off. So we prepared for that. And then as soon as we took off, the other thing that I did was I checked in with the plane. I was told to check in with planes. I checked in with the plane, and the plane was, at first he was like, I don't know, I'm like pretty old, I'm tired, I don't know if I can do, that was the message that I got from the plane. And then after I got the message that he was good to go, and then so then the plane took off, and as soon as the seatbelt sign was off, I went to the washroom, and I got a very clear message from a very very calm, it was from an Arcturian ascended master, and it was like, this is where your frequency is going to be, and it's calm, and this plane is our first priority, and everything's okay, and just kind of that message. And I was like, okay, cool. And then I went back to my seat, and then I saw a portal open, basically as big as the plane, a few seats in front of me, and these Arcturian beings come out. And I was like, oh, the Arcturians are here. That's cool. Just thinking, they're there. I see them a lot, but usually in my sessions, so this one was kind of unusual. And they're very serious on the airplane. And one of them came very close to me, and then was sitting in the aisle, sort of. And then I saw its hand go down into the plane, and I saw it was working to do with something with the belly of the plane, doing something there. And then I kept hearing the message, check in with the plane, send love to the plane, send love to the air around the plane. And then I kept getting the message to keep going to the washroom every once in a while, and then do light language at the washroom. And then I would check in with the plane. I think this was a few hours in. Again, the Arcturians were there. I just thought they were part of the journey, and kept going back and forth into the washroom doing light language. I thought what I was doing at the time was doing some grid work, because I do a lot of grid work in different places. So I thought, well, while we were flying from Singapore to Vancouver, Canada, there's a lot of work being done there, and then so there was a lot more of that. And then basically I kept checking in with the plane periodically, and then I would see black bits all around the belly of the plane, almost like smoke. And then like towards like the end of the flight, it was like the entire plane, when I checked in with the plane, was covered in like this black stuff and black bits. Like it was just like charcoaly bits. I don't really know how else to explain it. That's what I got as visual. And then I got the message like, I'm tired, I don't know if I can do this. And I was like, okay, like just sending it love and doing light language as well. I keep going back and forth. And I was also doing this in my head internally as well. And then it wasn't until we were just about to land, like 15-20 minutes into landing, the captain comes on and he's like, ladies and gentlemen, we are making an emergency landing. We lost an engine about halfway through the trip, and there's a report that there's potentially a fire on the plane. So the fire trucks and the emergency crew are all waiting on the runway. Like I guess they had to do like a film something on the runway to make sure that we were landing with one engine, but if there was a fire, to make sure that it was okay. And so I was like, oh my gosh. Now I knew like why I was doing the light language on the plane, but I was only kind of given the tools at the time, because if I would have been told that at the beginning of the flight or even like towards the middle of the flight, I would have not been in a very even when I heard that, I was kind of in like a oh my gosh, because basically for most of my life I'd been like scared of flying, so I was on like a need to know basis. And then I checked in with the airplane, and the airplane's like, I don't know if I can make it. And then everything like came together really beautifully. We landed, everybody clapped when that happened. But like that last stage was a very kind of a surreal experience. So that was the first part of my journey that I'm sharing. And it was just a very interesting experience, because I was told bits and pieces about that journey and about the plane. Like I was guided to take that plane. I was given bits of information before the flight took off, like a few days before. I was told different things about it, but I was only told specific little bits, and not like, because had I been told something like that, I obviously, I don't know what I would have done. I would have been maybe in a different space. And then after that flight, I had a connecting flight that was going from Vancouver to LA. And I was on that flight, and basically a couple hours into that flight, I felt like I couldn't breathe almost. Like I felt like I was having trouble breathing, and I felt like very like anxiety, panicky. And then right away I heard in my head, we are ascending a soul today. And I was like, what's happening? And then I didn't know, like at the time, what that was, I didn't understand where that, like, I knew that it wasn't me, but it felt like I was having a heart attack. And then basically 5 minutes later, or a few minutes later, the flight attendant on the airplane over the intercom, like, is there a doctor on board? Someone's having a heart attack. We need someone, like a doctor, to come, please. Is there a doctor? And so that was happening in the plane. And then I was doing light language, like in my seat. And I heard that there was a contract there, that it's being cleared and it's being the contract's being looked at. And then I heard he's not going today. This isn't his time to go. And then all that feeling, because I felt that feeling like first at the beginning, and then it dissipated. And then that was like the end of that flight. And so that's just something that I wasn't able to share at first, but I'm able to share it now. And it's just things like that I very much was guided to take those 2 flights, for being there, to help with the airplane, the first airplane, and then to help the person on the second airplane. And it's something that can be done with just your frequency of being around in an area, or being like, I was doing a lot of light language on that airplane, but just with the physical frequency of being on that airplane, I was able to assist. And it's something that I've been told quite a lot before even my light language, before I was remembering my light language. But it's like your presence, your frequency that you individually hold, each and every one of you, that frequency is helping people around you just by you being there, just by you being around, by being a light. And if maybe there's a thing that you're doing and you're guided, or you feel like you need to be in a certain area or a certain place, but you don't know why, there's a lot of like moving bits and a lot of moving pieces that maybe by your presence of being somewhere, you're helping to help someone in a healing way. Your frequency help shift that. There's other times where I've been guided to go certain places, like in the city, and then I'll just like I'll start humming, or I'll start singing, or I'll start doing like a certain tone or something, and then like sometimes I'll ask, and sometimes I'll just kind of like be standing next to a person, and then I'll start singing, and then I'll visualize sending them love. But that's also one of the things that started for me, was humming and toning with light language. So if any of you just have this feeling where you want to start singing and you're around someone, or like humming and you're around someone, chances are it's because you're helping to help them heal in a certain way. Yeah. So I just wanted to share that. And it's something I feel very, very very grateful that I'm able to do. And yeah, the plane ride was just such an interesting experience, because for a good chunk of my life, I've been afraid of flying. Both my parents are retired flight attendants. So it just, for whatever reason, I just did not like flying when I was younger. And I don't know what the situation would have been. Like, maybe the plane wouldn't have taken off. Maybe the plane, I don't know. It was going with one engine, and it was a tired plane. It was just a very, like, it was a contract that I had, that I was meant to do. Again, like, just before I got very clear messages, like in like voice, like I'll get my higher self will talk to me like, this is what you're doing, or this is like your go here, and that, in that way. But before I got those messages, there were lots of times when I was walking, or I'd feel like I'd want to go to a certain area of town, like back when I lived in Vancouver, and I didn't understand necessarily why. But I'm like, it's a lot easier when you can hear like a voice telling you like, this is what's happening. But it's just a really beautiful way that you can help share and spread your light with other people, in a loving way. Just, as I do like to say, like, if you're walking down the street and you're seeing something and you have this feeling, like, just smile, and like, that's a frequency shift for another person. And then the humming and toning. So lots of you have said that, yeah, that it happens to you too. So keep on spreading that love and smiling. And yeah, that was my story. So I'm going to go hop off here, but sending you guys so much love, and thanks, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys. And before I go, actually, I just wanted to share too, I have a few more spots left for my Activate Level 1 and Activate Level 2 that starts in October. So if you're looking to increase your frequency, learn more about how to heal, to help others heal, to start that as a career, or to expand that as a career, and get Reiki Level 1 attunement, Reiki Level 2 attunement, take a peek on my website. And so much love has gone into making this. It's something that's very, 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 very dear to me, because this is how I started along my path, and I have spent, I would say, like thousands of hours learning, and these are all things that I have chosen to share and to help others along their path, helping you spread your light and your gift to this world. So take a peek. And now I'm leaving. So have a good night and good day, and I'll see you next time.